Guys, can you see the presentation? All right. So in the MIS lab, what we will be focusing on is a database. So database is what we will be focusing on. Obviously, it is a practical class, so obviously there are few practical things which all of you have to do. But before that, you need to know about few of the concepts of database. All right. Anyways, in the theory part also, one of the module is and dedicated towards database, so it will be easier for us to cover that module. So what we will be doing in the initial part of this lab, we will be focusing mostly on the database. So we will look into the concept of database, what are the different types of database which are there, and our focus will be specifically on relational database, on which we will be writing queries also. About few of the database keys, the constraint, then we'll go ahead and design the database, then and obviously we'll use the structured query language in order to do that, and we will be focusing on creating the database for a college. So as and when will go step by step. So this is the agenda, I mean the initial part of the MIS lab, what we will be doing. So starting with the two words which we have. So we have database. So it is essentially data and a database. Who can tell me what is data and what is database?
So data, it is simply the collection of information or records, and database is collection of rows and columns.
So if I say for example 10 or Pratik, then Anisha, then Ojasvi, then 40, then a picture. So individually, all of these are called as data. So individually, they don't have a relevant meaning. All right. So I think all of you know the idea of data and information, the difference between data and information, right? And then comes a database. Now, how and why it is not called as an information base, but it is called as a database? Why?
Because it's a collection of data.
We have to be very specific, and we can say that it is a collection of related data. Now, what do you mean by this related data? Guys, definitely database, we can say it is a collection of data, but collection of related data. Now, what do you mean by this related data? Anyone, guys? What do you mean by related data? Okay, Shruti, they are related in one way or other. They are connected. For example, name, marks. Okay, Hitesh, all the data in the database contains are related to each other. Yes, definitely they are related to each other. But how is the questions? They are individual data points which are related to each other. Yes, Harsh, absolutely. They are individual data points which are related to each other. For example, let us say a student, because let us say we are talking about a student database, let us say a student. So what I will be having is I will be having the data of one individual student. All right. So let us say I can take a record, and in that record I will have different data points which belongs to that particular student. So for example, I can have the registration number of that student, I can have the name of that student, I can have the course to which he or she has enrolled into, all right, the email ID, address, telephone number, and so on and so forth. So all these individual data points belong to one particular student, and that is how they are related. Is it clear to everyone? Guys, is the idea clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Pretty simple. For example, let us say we take an example of a customer database. Let us say a customer of a bank. So we will be having the individual data point, but that data point will belong to one of the customer. Let us say the customer ID, the customer name, the customer balance, customer address, contact number, and so on and so forth. And that is why it is called as a collection of interrelated data. Okay, so that is basically the idea of database. But obviously, I mean, we can put in other words also. Here it says database is an organized collection of structured information or data typically stored in a computer system. And it is generally managed by a software which is called as DBMS. So essentially, database management system is a software, or it is an application program which helps in running the database. So for example, that is what exactly we will be doing. So we will be using SQL. So SQL, we can say, is a kind of a database which helps us to create, manipulate, delete, interact with the database. And obviously we can say that I mean, data and data DBMS with other applications, they are all together referred to as a database system. So this was the concept of a database. Now what do we have next? All right, so we have different types of database. We have hierarchical database, we have network database, relational database, object oriented database, cloud database, open source database, and other multidimensional database. Lot of other types of database are also present. But in this lab, in the MIS lab, we will be focusing on only one type of database, which is the relational database. We will be focusing on only the relational database. All right. Anyone, guys, what do you think could be a relational database? As you can see, here it says relational database. What it defines is the relationship in the form of tables. So here what we are trying to do is we are trying to store the data in the form of tables. So if we are talking about relational database, so definitely we would have different tables in the database which has got some kind of connection between them. We will see how you can have a relationship or connection between different tables. So if we are storing the data in the form of table, that would most likely be a relational database. A lot of database example, and this is specifically called as RDBMS, relational database management system. So we will be using SQL in order to implement the relational database. This is the structure of a table. All right, we'll be doing is we will be working on two tables. One is called as the department table, or it is otherwise called as a department relation. And another table that we'll be working on is the teachers table or the faculty table. And we will be creating a link or a connection between these two tables. But let us first understand some of the, what should I say, terminologies which are related to a relation. All right. So here, if we are talking about database and specifically relational database, then each of the table is termed as a relation. That is the first thing that you need to understand. We never say it is a table, but we say it is a relation. All right. So, and every relation has a name. So every table has got a name. So in this case, what is the name of the relation? Okay, Shailaja, absolutely correct. So here, as you can see, I have clearly written that the name of the relation is department. All right. So this table is called as the department relation. All right. Now, here there are a couple of other things that you need to understand. How many fields are present here in this relation?
Three.
They are three. But whenever we are talking about a database, we will term them as attributes. So each of the relation has got certain number of attributes. And in this case, we have got three attributes which are there. What are the name of the attributes?
Department ID, department name, location.
And location. So department ID, department name, and location. If you see very closely, I have used an underscore between the two words. Can anyone tell me why? The space.
Because sir, underscore is a how I will say, because a space is a special character type thing that is not allowed, but underscore is allowed.
All right, Shada, fantastic. So here in database, what happens? Either if you're using SQL, Oracle, yes, it does not recognize the space, or space is not allowed. In very simple terms, space is not allowed. So what we do to make it convenient, I mean, you can use any other special character, but I tend to prefer to use underscore because it looks good. It creates a space, and we exactly know. So we can use. So we cannot use a space between two words. So I prefer to use underscore. You can use any other special character, or if you want, you can use only one name. But sometimes what happens, we need to have two names, so that can be put together using an underscore. So that is why I have used department underscore ID, then department, or which is D name, department name, and location, right? So here in this relation, we have got three attributes which are there. Now, on the other side, if you see, you can see it is called as tuples or records. I mean, how many tuples are present in my relation, which I have showed here? Though we don't have any data, but how many tuples are there?
So 7.
It is 7. All right. So we can say the number of rows. The number of rows can be termed as tuple in case of a database, or we can say them as record. It is better if we say tuples. All right. And the number of columns are termed as attribute, or they are called as field. But it is better to use the term attribute. Okay. Because these are the terms that we will be using when we will be using the database. And on the other side, the number of rows are called as tuples. Is it clear, guys, to all of you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, it's clear.
All right. Now, here in this structure, I have not entered any data. All right. Now, the first thing that we have to do is we have to create the structure. All right. We have to first define the structure, and then we will be inputting the data. So whenever we have to start with creating a structure. And for the department relation, this is the structure that I have decided. So what I have decided is we will be having three attributes. All right. The first attribute would be department ID, then the department name, and then the location. Let us say, for example, department ID can be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Any integer we can have. Department name, we can have finance, marketing, IT operations, those kind of thing. And location, you can put any address, we can say. For example, let us say admin building or east building or east block or A block or C block, something like that. All right. So that we have this particular table. All right. So is this idea clear, guys, about a relation table, attribute, and tuples?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
Let us see what do we have next. All right. Okay. So now let us say I'm thinking of creating a student table. All right. Let us say I'm thinking of creating a student table. What are the possible attributes that we can have?
so roll number, admission number, name, class, section.
Okay. We can have a registration number.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Sorry. Yeah. Pratiksha. Yes.
Yes, sir. We can have phone number and email ID also.
We can
The
have
Gmail
phone
ID.
number and email ID. Yes. We can have the course into which the student has enrolled into. We can have the name. We can have the date of birth. We can have the gender. We can have lot of attributes. Is it not, guys?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. And obviously, the number of tuples will depend on the number of students who are present in a particular college. So we will not discuss about the tuples. So tuples are generally all the number of students which are present in the college. All right. Now, out of all these attributes, which attribute do you think is the most important one?
Registration number.
Registration number.
Registration number? Do we all agree? All of us? All the 44, 45
Yes,
students?
sir.
Yes, sir.
Why?
Unique.
Sir, because it is unique. Yes.
Because it is unique in the sense, if I pick up one registration number, I will only pick up one student. So let us say if I say registration number 1, in registration number 1 there will be only one student who will come up. All right. I cannot have that for a name or a gender or a date of birth. Right. For example, let's say, I mean, do we have multiple names here? Okay, I'm not sure. Okay, let us say Pratik. Pratik is a very common name. So if I ask Pratik, there would be 2 or 3 Pratik who will come up. But what I want a record to be uniquely identified. So in order to uniquely identify a record, I need to have the registration number. Are we all clear on this?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Let us say, for example, I am looking into a faculty database, all right, or a teacher database. What are the possible attributes that I can have?
Teacher ID.
Okay, teacher ID is possible, faculty ID is possible. What are the other attributes?
So name of the faculty name,
Faculty name, go on.
Phone number.
faculty name.
In the subject
Subject,
it
they
is
are
just
taking the designation, maybe again the date of birth, salary, experience, and so on and so forth. Again, yes, teacher ID, subject name, qualification, date of birth. Yes, yes, Shruti, absolutely correct. Out of all this, we all agree that the attribute faculty ID is the most important one.
Yes, sir.
Or the teacher ID is the most important one. And it is important because, again, we come to the same point that it will uniquely identify an individual faculty or a teacher from all the teachers who are present in the database. Am I clear to all of you?
Yes, sir.
So that particular attribute, all right, for example, in case of the example that we have taken here, the department ID, In case of a student, the registration number. In case of a faculty, faculty ID. These attributes are called as the primary key. All right, here if you see the concept of database key, the first one, it is called as a primary key. So key is nothing but an attribute, and we have to designate one primary key for each of the database. Very, very important. All right, if you have to design a good database table, it is mandatory or it is a good practice. I am not telling that if you don't designate a primary key, you cannot work with a database table. You can work with the database table, but it will not be that efficient. So if we are dealing or we are working on a database table, it is a good practice that we designate a primary key. Is it clear to all of you guys, the idea of primary key?
Yes, sir.
Essentially, a primary key, as I told you, is an attribute. And please understand, it can be a single attribute or a combination of attribute also. That is called as a composite key. All right, but at this point of time, let us stick with one key or one attribute. So a primary key is an attribute or a field in the relation which uniquely identifies each row or each record in the database table. That is called as a primary key. So in our case here, department ID will become the primary key. In case of student registration number will become the primary key. In case of faculty database, the faculty ID will become the primary key. I hope I have made myself clear, guys.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right. And then the idea of the primary key is that the value, all right, or the data should be unique. Can anyone explain me this particular line where it says primary key must contain unique values? What do you mean by that? Yes, guys. What do you mean by that? The primary key must have unique values.
Sir, it means, for example, admission number of a student. It is not same for all the student. Admission, it is different.
Yes, that is absolutely correct.
Admission
So
number,
either
then
either the registration number or the admission
or
number, it is unique for each of the student. All right, you will not have the same admission number or the same registration number for two different students or two different records. I think this is clear to all of you. So let us say Ojasvi has the registration number 1, then you cannot have any other record which has the registration number 1 and then the some other student name. No, not possible. So if it is registration number 1, it has to be Ojasvi. That's it. I mean, not literally. I'm just taking an example. Is it clear, guys? So that is what unique means. All right. As in when we come up with the tables, you will understand about the idea. All right. So here it says the table can have only one primary key. That is very, very important. So if we are talking about a relation in one database table or in one relation, we can have only one primary key. That's it. You cannot have more than one primary key in a given relation. All right. And then it says it may consist of a single or a multiple attribute or single or multiple fields. All right, so if it has multiple fields, then it is called as a composite key. But as of now, we will keep aside the concept of a composite key. As of now, we'll only focus on one attribute and make that as a primary key. Is the idea clear, guys, about the primary key?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Right.
sir.
There is another key as such, which is called as a foreign key, but we will not be discussing the idea of a foreign key in this class. So in this class, what we'll do is we will go ahead and create this table, the table that we have discussed this particular structure, in today's class we will be creating this table and you will see how it looks like. All right, so that is what we will be doing. So let me stop the presentation and share the screen for creating a table. All right, I think I have given you the link also. Okay, let me just stop this one. Guys, did I give you the online link for writing all these SQL statements? No, I think.
No, sir. I think no.
Is all of you are using a laptop or all of you are on a phone?
Sir, both.
Both. All right. So, I mean, those who have a laptop, and I hope they have an internet connection there. I have just sent a link on your WhatsApp group. All right. So, what you can do, you can just copy paste that link and open the SQL editor if possible. I mean, not for all of you. Those of you have a laptop or if you have a other phone, you can do that. So what I'll do is I'll share the screen. All right, guys. And guys, can you see the screen? It says SQL statement.
Yes, sir.
All of you?
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Yes, sir.
All right. So I have already sent you the link for this particular website. So what we have to do is we don't have to install the software as such. We can use the online platform in order to do our job. All right. So installing the Oracle or the SQL server, it is not required. So we can directly go to this online website and we can have our MIS lab here. So here today, what we'll be doing is we will be just creating a structure which I mean the department structure we will be creating. Now, in order to create a table or in order to create a relation, there is a command which is called as create table. So what I will be writing is I will be writing create table. So I have to write create table name. Now, what is the name of the table that we are trying to create?
The faculty table.
No, not the faculty table at this point of time. We are trying to create the
Department.
department. Yes. So we will be typing in the name of the table. All right. So here it would be create table name. So here my table name is department. All right. We have to open up the bracket. All right. And either you can continue to type, or what I do is in order to make thing I mean little clearer, what I do, I go to the next line. All right. Now, do you remember all the three attributes of the department table, guys? Anyone? What was the first attribute?
Department ID.
Department ID.
So what I can do is I can do DID. Please remember here, guys, this is the name of the variable that you are trying to use. All right, and here we should not have space in between the two words. So as I told you, either you can write DEPT underscore ID, it is absolutely up to you. But just to make it quicker, I am writing D underscore ID. So that is the attribute name. Now, space. Now then what I have to do is I have to specify the data type. All right. Now, can anyone tell me what do you mean by a data type? I think in your first semester,
The type of
the
data it will
type of
contain.
data it contains. All right. So if you remember in your first semester, you would have gone through different types of data type in your C programming. Right. So can anyone tell me that what are the different data types that you have learned?
So character,
Okay.
integer.
Int, char, floating type, which is decimal, right? String, right? Do you remember from C programming?
Yes, sir.
All right. Similarly also here in database we have different data types. And let us say for example for department ID I will be using the data type as integer. Okay, so what I will do is I will type in integer. So this is my data type. Got the point, guys? So DID,
So is it okay to type only int?
int is also fine, but I would request you to type integer because we are using the SQL. In some of the case in Oracle, it takes int. All right. So you have
Okay,
to
sir.
check whether which one will work. But as far as this particular website is concerned, because we are running a SQL statement, integer is the safest option, I can say. Int will also work. Okay. Please try out. But I would be using integer. All right. All right. So DID is the attribute name, then space the data type. Here my data type is integer. All right. Now there is another thing here that we have to add. So can we designate this department ID as a primary key here, guys, for this particular relation?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
so. So in order to put the primary key, we simply have to put a space and we have to type in primary key. All right, so I just have to type in primary key. So this means that I have designated DID as the primary key for this particular relation, which is the department relation. All right. So this completes the description about the first attribute. Then we have to put a comma. All right. Then we will come to the next one. Then we can press enter. Either you can continue here, guys, also. All right. Here you can also continue. But I prefer to, I mean, just to look better, I press enter. So what was the second attribute in my department table?
So department name.
Department name.
So in order to make it quick, I'm just writing D, which is department underscore name. All right. Or any, I mean, anything you can write. I mean, however is comfortable for you, you can do that. So D underscore name. Now, what could be the data type for this kind of attribute or this field?
So character, char.
It is a character. All right. It is not a number, it is not a decimal, but it is a character. In case of a database, all right, definitely it would be character, but here the data type in a database is generally called as a varchar. Okay, VARCHAR. Varchar means variable character or variable length character. All right, and here what we have to do, we have to specify the length, which is the maximum length. For example, we can specify as 25, which means that the department name can have maximum of 25 characters. Is it clear to all of you guys? It will have maximum of 25 characters. It can have less than that, but it cannot have more than 25 characters. All right. If you want to make it more, you can make it more. We can make it 30, not a problem. You want to make it 50, we can make it 50. It depends on the requirement what do you have. But I don't think there is a department name which is greater than like 30 characters. Is this data type clear, guys, to all of you? The varchar?
Yes, sir.
It is variable character up to 30 characters. All right, we can always have less than that also, not a problem. All right, and here I am adding another constraint. What constraint I am typing in is something called as not null. Can anyone explain what could be this not null? What I am trying to put here?
Sir,
Sir, not zero.
usually for not leaving the space, matlab, we can't leave that place empty. We have to
Empty,
fill something.
exactly. We have to input a data in this particular attribute. If I'm talking about the department name, we cannot leave this space empty. All right, we have to put in any data that is there. If we don't put, it will give us an error when we are executing the data entry. So that is what not null means. So wherever we have a not null, we mean that that particular attribute cannot be left blank. We have to fill in the data. Is this clear to everyone?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Now, I'm not specifying or I'm not telling that this is a compulsory constraint. If you want that, no, there is a chance that I may leave the field empty, so you don't put not null and put a comma. All right, but here, because it will look, I mean, we will add all the constraint, so definitely I am putting a not null and then comma. So this actually completes my second of the what should I say, attributes. And I put a comma, I go to the next line. What was the third attribute?
Location.
So we can have a location. So location, as I told you, was kind of an address. So what is the data type that we can use, guys?
AWD
varchar.
at
We can again use the varchar data type. All right, and here again we can use 30 or 25, whatever is convenient. We can do that. And here I am not putting any of the constraint, right? So here I'm not putting either unique, not null. Obviously, it cannot be a primary key. As I told you, in one of the relation, there can be only one primary key. All right, so location varchar 30. So these are the three attributes which are there in my department table. Now, how I can close off this one? So once I do that, I will not put any comma after this. I will simply go to the next line. All right, I will close in the bracket and I'll put a semicolon. All right, I'll go to the next line. I'll put a semicolon. As in, if you remember in C programming, after every sentence, not after every sentence, for example, printf and scanf, you were putting a semicolon.
yes, sir.
In the same way, just to tell the compiler that we have come to the end of our statement. So this essentially is the set of code or the SQL command where we can create a table. Now, once we have done this, if you want, you can take a screenshot or however, I don't know, or you can take a picture so that you can practice it later. All right, guys, can you take a screenshot of this one?
Yes, sir. Taken.
Done? All of you? All of you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right, now what we'll do, we will click on this run SQL. Here it says run SQL. All right, now here you see in the result, it says you have made changes to the database because this was for previous one. Again, if I click here, do you see? It says you have made changes to the database. Look on the right hand side. Do you see your database table name and the records which are there? Do you see on the right hand side? Can you see?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
At the bottom, do you see a department table being created? And if you notice on the records, how many records are there under the department table?
3.
Zero.
Zero.
It is zero because at this point of time, we have only created the structure. We have not inserted or input any data into the table. So this is the first step towards creating a relation or creating a table. All right. So at this point of time, we have not inserted any data into the database. That is why the number of records, it shows 0. All right. Is everything clear till this point, guys?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All of you?
Yes, sir.
All right, I am stopping
Yes,
this
sir.
one. All right. So can I expect that you will practice at least these 3 or 4 lines of SQL command and see whether you will able to successfully create the table? Obviously, the way you can check whether the table is created or not, you just have to look on the right hand side of that particular screen and see whether you have a department table and the number of records should be 0. Because we have not inserted any data, so the number of record definitely should be 0. Can it be done as an assignment?
Yes, sir.
Right. If you have any problem or if you get any kind of error, all right, what you can do is you can take the snapshot and send it across to me on my WhatsApp. All right. And if you have made any mistake, then I'll tell you what mistake you have done. But I don't think there should be any mistake. So the same way, if you've taken the screenshot, you just have to type in and see whether you are able to create the department table. So this was the first step in creating the structure of a given relation. All right. Once this is done, the next step would be to input the data into the table. And that we will be doing in the next class. So we will be doing inserting the data, updating the data, and deleting the data. So as of now, we are working on only one table. All right. So as of now, we will be clear about all the manipulation that can be done on one table. And once that is done, then we'll move on to the next table, and then we'll see how the connection is created between those two tables. Was everything clear, guys, till this point of time?
Excuse me,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes. Any doubts, guys? Yes.
Sir, as the message showed that some changes are made, so what to do in that case? Can you please explain once more?
No, you don't have to do anything. If it says there are database changes that are made, that means you have successfully created the structure. And how you can know that? You just have to look at the right hand side, go through the list of table. At the bottom, you should have the name of the table, whatever table name you have put. That is, in our case, it is department. So it will show department and the number of records should be 0. If you have that, that means you have successfully created the structure. You, at this point of time, please understand that we have only created the structure, nothing else. Is it clear, Ojasvi?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. Anything else, guys? Any other doubts? No doubts. I mean, everything is crystal clear.
Yes, sir.
All right. Okay. All right. So we should wind up today. All right. And tomorrow we have the theory class, and again we'll continue with the theory class. In the next week, we will be on MIS lab. We will see how we can do manipulation in the database table. All right, guys. Have a good day, and I'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Bye, guys. Bye. Bye.